Okay. So what is meant by probability? Probability is the number of chances to occur an event. That is number of, okay, probability. The number of chances to occur to happen. Simple words for to happen an event. Right. So this is probability. Okay, it's not exact number of ways of happening. It is number of chances. So that is probable things. That is the probability. How many ways this may happen? Okay, that is number of chances to happen an event. Right. Second thing is random experiment. What is meant by random experiment? Small words. Random experiment. Okay. What is meant by random experiment? Okay. Experiment in which if we know the outcomes, we can't predict the exact outcome. If we know the outcomes, okay, outcomes తెలిసినప్పటికీ ఖచ్చితంగా ఏది వస్తుందో చెప్పలేనటువంటి ఎక్స్పెరిమెంట్స్ ఏమంటాము? ర్యాండమ్ ఎక్స్పెరిమెంట్స్. సో ఎగ్జాంపుల్ number 1 is tossing a coin or coins, one or two, one coin or two coins or more than one coin. Right. Next. Okay. Next, throwing a die. These are standard experiments. Throwing a die or more than one. That is dice.
Selecting a card.
Okay. Then next one more experiment. Standard experiments. So picking up a card from the pack of 52 cards. So pick up or drawing. Drawing is what good word. Okay. Drawing a card or more than one card. Card or cards from pack of, okay, or the deck of 52 playing cards. Next, okay, next, drawing a ball from a box which contains different number of different colored balls. Drawing a ball, a ball or more than balls, a ball or balls from a box or urn, urn, from a box or urn which contains different colored
kinds of
different number and colored balls, or from which contains different colored balls or different colored, right. Right. So these are the standard experiments. Other than these also many experiments are there. So these are the standard experiments, random experiments. So in all these experiments, the common thing is we know the possible outcomes. What are the possible outcomes? If you do this experiment, tossing a coin, if you toss a coin, okay, the possible experiments we know very well. Possible experiments, what are the possible experiments? Either head or tail. But we can't predict what will come exactly. We can't predict. Okay, ఏది వస్తుందో తెలీదు, ఏమి రావచ్చో తెలుసు. head రావచ్చు, tail రావచ్చు, బట్ ఎగ్జాక్ట్గా ఏది వస్తుందో తెలియదు. సో దోస్ ఎక్స్పెరిమెంట్స్ ఆర్ కాల్డ్ ర్యాండమ్ ఎక్స్పెరిమెంట్స్. సో tossing a coin or throwing a die, these are all random experiments. Okay, right. Okay, next, what is probability? Probability of an event. Probability of an event. So that is generally denoted by P of E. In any experiment, see the number of possible outcomes are there. Okay, in any experiment, possible outcomes are there. The outcomes which are possible to come, so those are possible outcomes. Okay, so these are the number. So right. Next, in which the favorable outcome to E, favorable outcome. So number of favorable outcomes. Right. Okay, right. Suppose if you take an experiment, okay, in throwing a die. So what is the probability? Probability to get okay, even prime number. Okay, even prime number. Right. Okay, so see, okay, right. What is the experiment? So first we have to identify the experiment. What is the experiment here? Throwing a die. So throwing a die is experiment. Throwing a die is an experiment. That is the experiment, right? So in that experiment, if you do the experiment, so what will happen? The outcomes will come. So those are called possible outcomes. Or another name is sample space. We use sample space. This is generally denoted by S. See, in this experiment, throwing a die. Okay, what are the possible outcomes? So one may occur, 2, 3, 4, right? These are the possible outcomes. Okay, right. Okay, right. Next, the favorable outcome is what? Okay, favorable outcome. Right. So that we call that event. Event is getting. Okay. What is that? Even prime number. And it should be prime. Even prime. Right. So these are the possible outcomes in which, okay, if which outcome is favorable to even prime number. ఏది వస్తే ఈవెన్ ప్రైమ్ వచ్చినట్టు. ఓకే, ఈవెన్ ప్రైమ్స్ ఉన్నాయి దీంట్లో యాక్చువల్గా 2, 3, 5. ఇన్ దిస్ ద ఈవెన్ నంబర్ ఇస్ 2. ఓకే, సో ఇది వస్తేనే రైట్. ఇఫ్ 2 comes, okay, if 2 comes when you throw a die, then this event is happened. Right. So therefore, these are the possible outcomes. In these possible outcomes, this is the favorable outcome. If it comes, then only that event is happened. Otherwise, it is not happened. Okay, right. So right now, the number we have to find out. See here, n of s, number of elements in sample space. Is 6. Right, n of e, number of elements Okay, favorable to this event. Only one. Only one. Right. Now the probability to get that event. Okay. Number of favorable to that is n of e by n of s 1 by 6. 1 by 6. So this is basic probability rule. Okay. Probability of any event is number of favorable by number of possible outcomes. So that is basic experiment. Conditional probability. Okay. So conditional probability. Right. Conditional probability. Conditional probability. Right. What is meant by conditional probability? See, let S be a sample space related to one random experiment. Okay. S be a sample space related to one random experiment. Okay, right. Suppose S be a sample space, okay, related to a random experiment. Okay, right. So in this experiment, there are two outcomes, E comma F. The two outcomes, two events. We take two events. Okay, right. So E comma F be two events. These are also take it that E comma be two events in this experiment. Right. See, probability of, see the first, if you write like this, probability of E by F. What is the meaning of this? What is the meaning of this? See, probability of happening of E when F already happened. When F already happened. See, this meaning is probability of happening E, happening event E when event F already happened. So this is conditional probability. So probability of E by F means probability of E, okay, after happening of this event F. After happening the event F జరిగిన తరువాత E జరిగే probability. ఇది దాని మీనింగ్. F జరిగిన తర్వాత E జరిగేటువంటి probability. So this is defined as E by F equal to, so probability of F, okay, so first happening event, this event is happening F. After that happening of E, that means intersection E intersection F. This is conditional probability. Conditional probability. Probability of happening of E when F already occurred. That is denoted by E by F. That probability is, okay, probability of E intersection F by probability of F. Probability of F. Okay? Right. Now we'll take one example. Okay? So events F, E be the event is at least two heads appear. Two heads appear. And F be the event F. be the event. First coin shows tail. These are the two events. Okay. Find probability of E by F. Probability of E by F. So now 3 coins are tossed. This is the experiment. So here the experiment is tossing 3 coins. So this is the experiment. So in this experiment, the sample space is, what is the sample space? 8. So 8 possible outcomes. Okay. So 2 heads. 2 heads. Okay. Single head. Okay. So no head. So these are the right. See, F is the first coin shows tail. First coin shows tail. Okay, F. So first coin shows first coin tail. So what are the favorable to this? First coin tail. How many are there? First coin tail. This is then this is first coin tail. This is first coin tail. This is the first coin tail. So these are favorable to this. THH, THT, TTH, TTT. Okay, right. Next, F. At least 2 heads appear. E is at least 2 heads. At least 2 heads. That means what? 2 heads and 3 heads also will come. 2 heads. At least 2. Minimum 2. Right. At least 2. This will come. At least 2.
HHT.
HHT.
THH.
THH.
HTH.
Okay. HTH. Okay, right. Now, see, find intersection. So that means the first coin should be tail. First coin tail, and next at least 2 heads. First coin tail, at least 2 heads. First coin tail. First coin tail. Okay, at least 2 heads. At least 2 heads. What are there? THH. So common. Okay. Both should combine. Both. Say first coin tail and at least 2 heads. This is only possible. First coin tail, at least 2 heads. Okay, right. THH. Okay. Now see N of F. You find N of F is 1, 2, 3, 4. N of E 1, 2, 3, 4. Intersection E intersection F 1. Okay. Intersection F. Okay. So this formula is first thing happened. See, first event after happening of F, happening of both. Okay, right. So now we find this is equation 1, right? Now we find P of F. Probability of F. See the favorable things P of F 4. Right. See number of N of S by N of F. N of S is 8. N of F is 4. 1 by 2. Next, intersection part. Okay, that is N of S by N of intersection. So this is 1. Right. Now apply the P E by F. This is equal to, okay, probability of F. Probability of F. Next, probability of intersection. So intersection, probability of F is 1 by 2, right?
1 by 8, sir.
Probability of intersection 1 by 8, that is 2 by 8, 1 by 4. Okay, right. So by using this formula, this is 1 by 4. A small trick is there. So without doing all the process, we can find directly answer. So what is that? See, when we find the probability of any event, we see the number of possible outcomes, that the sample space. Based on the sample space, we find the probability of any event. We find the probability of any event. See, suppose the probability of F, the probability of F, where we find probability of F is there. This is basing on the sample space. This is also basing on the sample space. Okay. Among this sample space, what are the events in the sample space which are favorable to this? So total 8 outcomes are there. 8 outcomes are there, in which the favorable outcome is only 1. So when we are finding the probability, the basic thing is that is depending on the number of possible outcomes, we are finding the probability of particular event. But in this event, see, what we have to find? Probability of E by F. Probability of E by F. Here we are basing on F. Basing on F. After happening of F, what is E? After happening of F, what is E? That means in the outcomes of F, what are the favorable to E? That is enough. In the outcomes of F, what are the favorable to E? See, so these are the, okay, so first happening event is this. In this, how many favorable to E? How many favorable to E? See, in these 4 outcomes are there, in which 1 is favorable. 1 by 4, that is enough. Simple answer. Okay, so in this conditional probability, so the basic concept is, so when we are finding the probability of anything, we are basing on the sample space. Depending on that, we are finding the probability. But in conditional probability, the first event, what is the event happening in the first? So depending on that, we can find the next event probability. So that is important. So probability of E by F is, first you see the F. What are the outcomes are there in the F? What are the outcomes are there in the F? In which, what are favorable to E? Okay, so these 4 outcomes are there, in which the intersection, so that is favorable to E. Okay, intersection part. How many? This only satisfying. After happening of this E, okay, happening of the, so happening of F, happening of E. Okay, these are 4 are there, in which 1 is favorable, 1 by 4. But as per the formula, we have to find this. Properties. So first property, probability of sample space over F after happening of F. After happening of F. So sample space is sure event. Okay, that is probability is 1. After happening of any event, the sample space happening of any event, Okay, sample space happening, that is always 1. Probability of A union B, this we can write under condition F, after happening of F. So probability of A by F plus probability of B by F minus probability of A intersection B
by F.
F. And next, our property is probability of E complement after happening of F. Probability of E complement after happening of F, that is equal to 1 minus probability of E after F. Okay, probability of not occurring of E, okay, after F equal to 1 minus occurring of E after F. We have 3 properties. Now see example. A family has 2 children. A family has 2 children. Family has 2 children. What is the probability that that both the children are boys? Children are boys. Both the children are boys, given that at least one of them a boy is a boy. At least one of them is a boy. So at least one of them is a boy. After this, at least one of them is a boy. After this, both will boys. Okay? We have 2 events, right. So here the sample space is what? The sample space is 2 children are there. So both boys. Okay, boy girl boy, both girls.
Both girls you can't take, sir.
Space. This is the sample space. So that means if 2 children are there, what are the possible ways? Only possible ways. This is possible ways. And next, see the first event is this. So one of them boy.
Yep.
First event is right. So we consider F. One of them, at least one of them. At least one boy. One of them boy. Okay, right. So what are they favorable to this?
Boy.
At least one of them boy. That means one boy, 2 boys. Okay. So BB, VG, GB. Okay, right. Next event is E. Both are boys. Both children are boys. Both are boys. Okay, right. So we have only this option. Okay. And next, probability. So what probability you have to find? Probability of E after F. Already given this. After happening of this event, what is the probability of happening of this event? So probability of E by F. So right. Probability of F. Probability of intersection both. See, we have intersection also is there. Intersection is E intersection F is we have only this. Right, okay. Probability of F. Probability of F is F 3 by 4 because in sample space 4. This probability is 3 by 4. Probability of intersection 1 by 4. This is 1 by